What's going on, YouTube? This is Mr. Fry, aka Gaius, on today's episode of A Strange, Creepy, and Unexplained Reactions. um, Nefarious plot. If most of y'all guys know that a movie came out based off of this book right here called Nefarious. Um, the guy who plays one of the brothers in Boondock Saints, and the lead actor and character in the movie Powder plays the character of the demonically possessed inmate. Um, so yeah, I hope you guys, this is something that the story itself actually kind of sort of affected me in a way. Um, it it opened my eyes to a lot of things that go on in the world today. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy this stream. I look, I so yesterday I was just kind of going back and looking at my the video that I posted about Tartaria, and holy cow, I personally thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. Um, I think there are some points in the video I could have been a little bit more better than some things. Um, but before I go any further, so I hope you like my books right here. These are the library books that I'm reading into about, kind of helping with the channel and everything. And then I hope you guys like the Game Over. It's a little tarp or tapestry. I thought that'd be a good little thing for the background. And then I got my best friend right here, Don. He passed away a few years ago. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Look, the this the everything that's like this is a reaction video, so I don't own any of the rights to the narrative, the story, anything. Um, all rights go to the narrator and um, the writer and everything. The book is written by Steve. I want to make sure I say this right. I don't want to mispronounce. I think it's Deaces. I'm not even gonna try. But you see it up on the screen right here, Steve. I'm not gonna say his last name because I can't pronounce it properly, and I don't want to look like an idiot. But it is narrated by Andrew Totolos. Look, this guy's voice is they picked a good person to narrate this story. So what I'm going to do with this, because I've never, like I said, yesterday was kind of my first time making a reaction video. Um, I've never tried doing a book. So I really I really hope that it doesn't get flagged because I this is a really then this is for entertainment and somewhat educational purpose only. There is no, like, yeah. So it's for both entertainment and just kind of a little bit of a educational on, the author and his imagination, and stuff like that. So yeah, with that being said, um, I'm Gaius Mr. Fry, and this is my strange, creepy, and unexplained, and these are my reactions. So without further ado, we're gonna start up the this thing here. Again, I really hope I don't get in trouble for it. I just really, 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 really hope. Okay.
Dedication. This book is dedicated to all the
Uh, we'll just straight to chapter 1. And look, if you're interested, look, I don't know how many off of this I'm going to do. I may just do like a few chapters and then like just briefly react and talk about it throughout the thing, and then because again I don't know if I'll get flagged for this or not. So again, entertainment purposes and a somewhat educational view on religion. All right. So first chapter is called Why You. And look, if you don't have just so this book is really, really intense. So if you're like, if you can't like handle, you know, certain subjects and stuff like that, I advise you to not listen to this because it dives into some weird shit. And like I said, strange, creepy, and unexplained. This book will literally make you go, that's some fucked up shit, man. But because this book dives between fiction and nonfiction, and there's like that gray spot in between, you know. So it makes you think. So like I said, we're gonna start with chapter 1 here, and again, I hope you guys enjoy this.
Chapter 1. Why You? We have debated amongst ourselves what to do with you almost from your beginning. Right from the start, I saw the threat you potentially represented. Sure, you were just a ragtag group of colonials fighting the mightiest monarchy in the world, but I suspected all the G-D talk in your founding documents might spur you-know-who to pour out his favor upon you, or what your founding fathers frequently referred to as Providence.
By the way, when he says G-D, he's speaking. He's basically saying God. You'll see throughout the book how he and so the narrative behind the book is that he's speaking from the demon's perspective of yeah. So again, if you haven't look, so if you've seen the movie, which is it's just called Nefarious, this is literally before, like before the lawyer and stuff. This is when he's sitting in his cell. Remember, so for any of you, spoiler alert, for those who have seen it, for those who haven't seen it, there are going to be some spoilers in here because, of course, the book is always going to have more details than the movie. But so I'm gonna put yes, good thing I said spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. This is before, so like this is like maybe a few months or maybe a year or two before, you know, the timeline in the movie. So yeah, enjoy. And G-D references he's meaning God.
In their day. He's such a predictable sap. He falls for your sentimental attempts at devotion and reverence every time, even though we both know in the end you won't follow through on your good intentions. Nevertheless, while we know better and just write you off from the outset, he's bound and determined to give you every opportunity to prove yourselves, even going so far as to send you the carpenter to save you from yourselves. What a waste of potential, that one. The carpenter had everything it took to be great, but naively rejected the power and glory of my master when given the chance. So instead of taking control with his power and curing this sorry world of all its earthly problems, the carpenter chose an absolutely brutal death, claiming it was needed to atone.
For those who don't know what he means by the carpenter, if you don't know, he's speaking about Jesus, Jesus the carpenter.
For your never ending sins. He believed the outward problems of your world couldn't be cured until its chief inhabitant, you, were cured of the inward evil inside you. Fool! At our master's urging, we made sure he was properly punished for his stupidity. To make an example of him, we had the bags of meat under our control, bludgeon him worse than anyone had ever been bludgeoned in a crucifixion.
So you're gonna hear that word as well, bags of meat. That's humanity. He's speaking about us. We're To him we are considered the bags of meat. And the dark lord that he's or his master is Satan, Lucifer.
Before, and that's saying something. He wasn't even recognizable when it was over. One demon's disfigurement is another demon's piece de resistance, I always say. Since the carpenter, we have faced other existential threats inspired by his ramblings. A Roman Jew with a penchant for writing sanctimonious letters, and a particularly pesky Algerian bishop who was once one of ours, were two of the worst. The mere thought of those two, and a few others.
I think the Rome wasn't there a follower of Jesus that turned that was like a well, besides Marcus Gaius, who besides him there was I thought there was another one that was like a Roman, and then like one day he just like he was trying to find something. I think it was like trying to find something either about Jesus or something, and he was blinded by light, and then uh, he just became a follower of Jesus after that. I can't remember his name though. I think that's who he was talking about in that reference, as the Roman writing letters.
Still makes my scaly skin crawl. Thankfully, in the end, you bags of meat always expire. And we can always count on the arrogance of a new generation to disregard anything noble about their legacy and work as old school and out of date. When we plunged nearly all of Christendom into the Dark Ages, oh, and what a joyous time of famine, pestilence, and war it was. We thought we had finished off whatever was left of the carpenter's spiritual progeny. But alas, like a cockroach and boy bands that would survive even a nuclear holocaust, his teachings keep coming back. This brings us to you. You are a people forged from the philosophies that, well, defeated. There, I said it. The Dark Ages. Your founders took the best of two social reform movements, the Reformation and the Renaissance, and fused them into one culture. Your founders, despite their many flaws, and I could tell you stories, somehow managed to create a civilization that was not dominated by either the church or the state. Two institutions we've had a pretty easy time corrupting down through the eons. This complementary relationship between church and state, which put each institution in its own jurisdiction as opposed to vying with one another for supremacy, allowed what you call liberty to be born and flourish. Make no mistake, we absolutely loathe liberty, alongside
So speaking of liberty, I I recently came across a video. I know every time I you know come up with new information, it's always from a video. But I I recently came by a video about the Statue of Liberty. I guess if you look closely at the Statue of Liberty, even in person, there's a chain on one of the legs of the Statue of Liberty, and something about the star or the crown had like something about, I don't know. It said something about like the the points on the crown are like reference to the 200 angels that fell onto the Mount Hermit, which I actually have this little book right here that uh um I kind of keep my notes in. Sometimes I draw and stuff like that. But I have some ideas, and one of them is well, yeah, I don't know, but all I gotta say is this book is really gonna this book is one of those mind bogglers. So
Redemption, repentance, holiness, grace, mercy, and obedience. It is one of our 7 deadly words. We don't mind freedom as much because that's a word more easily distorted, but liberty is something altogether more
oh
hostile.
yeah, yeah, I was talking about liberty, man. Fucking that's what happens when you fucking drink coffee. I drink coffee a lot, so like I'm early at like when I first wake up, which I woke up a little while ago. I normally don't try to jump into this after I wake up, but sometimes you just can't help it. But speaking of liberty, yeah, so supposedly the crown on Liberty, Statue of Liberty is supposed to indicate the 200 angels that fell onto the mountain of Hermon, Mount Hermon, and stuff like that. So I think if you pay close attention, you might like hear some references to that, which I'm guessing that was one of them, which I'm just catching on to.
To our plans for you. Because liberty presupposes there must be accountability, personal responsibility, and integrity within a society and its institutions for a people to truly be free.
Excuse me.
Anything that calls for you bags of meat to rise above your base nature of selfishness and vanity, we oppose with all our might down here. Now might be a good time for me to stop and answer a question some of you reading this may have. Some of you may be wondering why I would speak so honestly about the cherished ideals the United States of America was founded upon. After all, am I not afraid that by doing so I will actually tempt the American people to return to their providential origins? Not on your miserable lives.
And look, you want to know what the scary thing about that statement is? Look at everything that's happening in the world now. Like drones up in the sky, and yet a lot of people are just kind of like, whatever. Like no, like you know what I mean? Like, ugh, that's dude, that statement really it really hits hard on the head of the nail. I tell you.
I am no more afraid of that than I am afraid of unicorns, although there are many demons who find clowns creepy. As you will see by the end of this book, our grand plan to take you down worked so well, most of the people reading it won't even believe this is for real. In fact, the smartest people in your culture hate what you were intended to stand for every bit as much as I do. I hate to brag, but I'm bragging. Our
Yeah.
plan worked so well, most of the people reading this don't even know what the Reformation and the Renaissance were all about. When most Americans think Reformation, they think sinners in the hands of an angry G-D, which was a powerful sermon delivered by an unfortunately delightful Puritan. He also wrote eloquent valentines to his bride, whom he conceived 11 children with. Yet, nowadays, many Americans use puritanical like it's a racial epithet, when in reality there would be no America without the Puritans landing at Plymouth Rock. Without the Reformation,
Plymouth Rock. A lot, dude. That's another word, another name that's floating around everywhere, dude. I've heard that one too, just recently as well.
making the words of that dreadful book available to all, there would have never been the United States of America. Individual liberty was a non-factor on this planet until the individual believed he could have a direct relationship with you-know-who. When most Americans think Renaissance,
Every time I hear that, I automatically think of Voldemort. Oh God, you know, you gotta give the guy props, the writer, who wrote the book, 'cause even though it's like it's a fucked up book, I'm not even gonna lie, it's good literature, dude. Amazing, like the storyline. Mwah, you fucking got me rocking a little bit. It's nerve wracking. Of course, it's fiction, but it still doesn't, mean it's not creepy a little bit. It doesn't make you wonder.
they first realize they don't know how to spell it.
Voldemort.
Those who
Yeah.
think they know what it was about believe it to be some sort of progressive nirvana when moral constraints were loosened and humanism reigned. I was there, and it really wasn't about any of those things, which is why we've had to lie to you about it. Sure, it had its seedy underbelly like anything your species touches for too long, but at its heart, what the Renaissance really did was encourage beauty, critical thinking, and the maximizing of human potential. Potential that unfortunately is bestowed by the enemy. Now imagine a society inspired by the
Calm down.
best of the Reformation and the Renaissance. A society that reveals our Creator's best laid plans for human civilization so that you really know how creation's supposed to work. Then, at the same time, puts the infrastructure in place for you to maximize your human potential in a way that enriches one another to the point you might even profit off your excellence. A society that says there is no conflict between maximizing human potential and glorifying you-know-who, but encourages you to maximize your human potential for his glory. A civilization that ceases the toxic conflict between church and state that had plunged Western civilization into the Dark Ages, and we had taken eon to foment, but gives them co-equal authority in their own jurisdictions to mount justice, the state, and redemption, the church. That is
Have you noticed in recent years how the government has slowly, well, it's always kind of been into the school systems with, the Rockefellers putting, having their own educational system laid out and placed, you know, it just kind of like how one, because look, my honest opinion, and that's what I'm always going to give you is what my honest opinion and nothing more. You know, I don't think the government should have any say on what goes on in somebody's home on either, unless you're like sacrificing shit. Like, even look, I know personally a Satanist, and I'm friends with one, and I can tell you right now, this not doing all. It's not. is not like, I mean, there are, you know, weirdos out there that go a little far beyond the, to doing whatnot. But it's not like that in some senses. You 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 kind of understand what I'm. This book here kind of it explains on how, in a fiction manner, again, entertainment purposes only. It's not real. So don't go run into your local police station or your, I mean, if you want to go to your local minister, it wouldn't hurt, I guess. But fiction. But this book kind of illustrates how the devil, I'm putting quote unquote, because there are people who have their beliefs, um, but how the devil wormed its way into everything we know and see today. Music industry, movie industry, art industry, culture industry, every industry. This book kind of gives a fictional idea of what it would look like if the devil had manipulated everything we know today. You know, now I'm not, you know, prompting devil worshiping and Satanism and everything, but everybody has their right into believing what they believe in. You know, that's, we're human. We have that right. So with that being said, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it, and then uh, we'll end it off there. And again, if you like what you see and you want to see more of it, leave a like and subscribe, or leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you enjoy it and you want to see more. Uh, but again, I'm not condoning any of this to anybody. I'm not bashing anybody's beliefs. This is just for entertainment, and I guess for some people would be considered educational for a literature standpoint. Uh, so yeah, again, or not again. If I sound or look sluggish, it's because I literally just woke up like maybe, I don't know, an hour and a half ago, uh, and I'm drinking coffee, of course. So I do apologize. Uh, I'm not all doped up and everything, you know. I mean, maybe, who knows, the government, poisoning, brainwash. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Calm down. Calm down. All right. With that being said, entertainment purposes, just enjoy. That's all I ask. This is none of this is meant to judge, disrespect anybody's belief system. This is all for entertainment purposes only. So I'm gonna hit play here. Like I said, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this, and then I'm gonna talk about it, and then yeah.
A society that would allow room for individual excellence and achievement to be recognized and rewarded, thus incentivizing future generations to reach their potential as well, what used to be known as your American dream. I know, it sounds absolutely awful. As if that doesn't disgust you enough, This society would be a beacon for the rest of this sorry planet to aspire to, and could even convince other civilizations this rancid world really could be a better place. Worse yet, this society might feel it has a duty to love your neighbor as you love yourself, by using its prosperity to export charity and missionary work the world over. Ugh. The mere thought of such a collectively selfless notion is enough to make even this veteran demon general throw up in his mouth a little. What a great society this would truly be, and this is the society you were truly meant to be. Some of us saw this clear and present danger right away. Others thought our main focus should remain with the various entanglements and debaucheries we were constructing in Europe at the time. To their credit, my fellow demons who felt this way had so poisoned the well there, they were close to totally undoing the Reformation and the Renaissance altogether. You had believers slaughtering their fellow believers over there, and persecuting the original chosen people as well. All in the name of Jesus, of course. Come on, that's worthy of an LOL, is it not? The beauty of
No,
being immortal is
no.
you have the benefit of time, and foresight is
I wonder
2020.
if that's how
For
young
evil's
people
sake,
feel
your founding
from
fathers even
older people
blatantly
say
stole
that.
the language from that dreadful book with phrases
LOL.
like city on a hill, in a ham-fisted attempt to claim some covenant favor from you-know-who. Your founding fathers had the audacity to ask you-know-who to overlook their multitude of imperfections we painstakingly noted, and had the gall to appeal to his perfect guidance and blessing despite their imperfections nonetheless. Utterly shameless bags of meat were they. Of course, he fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Sucker. How else do you explain a document signed by just 56 ne'er-do-wells inspiring the first long-term successful attempt at self-government in human history? That simply doesn't happen by human power alone. I've seen the best you meatbags can do, and you can't do that. All the coincidences that would have to occur for those 13 colonies to soon become the world's most feared superpower weren't coincidences at all. They were providence, pure and simple. What you don't know is he's a sap. Here's how you-know-who operates. He does just enough to get you to consider believing it's really him, and he's really the one in control. But
Again, if you are wondering what he means by you know who, he's referencing God. Uh, if you've seen a lot of movies or read a lot of books, most demons don't like to say the name God or Jesus or any of that stuff, so they do their best to mock him as much as possible by beating around the bush. You know who, G-D. So,
not so much that it's too easy for you to believe it's him in control lest your precious free will be violated. He wants you to live on faith, after all, for he believes that shows him you truly love him. What a needy creature our deadbeat dad is when you stop and think about it. Why create lesser beings to love? We believe lesser beings should be ruled, and so do you, which explains why we get along so well. But your founding fathers believed the people should rule themselves under the enemy's authority, and that power should flow from the bottom up and not the top down. Something about a government by the consent of the governed, as I recall. To the contrary, down here, we believe in the golden rule, as in, he who has the gold gets to make all the rules.
so I don't know if you guys know about this. I didn't even know about this. I'd never even seen, never even heard the name before. But what's the most richest company in America? He said the one with the most riches is the one who is in control, right? BlackRock. is the most richest company I think in the world. Like, wow, they own almost everything. Just putting that out there. I mean, I could be wrong. It could just like be narrowed down to the United States, or I could be close to accuracy and be the world. I don't know. I think I'll make sure to, you know, check it before, I make a full, you know, state, before I lock in my answer. There we go.
Obviously, this self governing precedent is one we couldn't allow to stand. For if you remove top down power structures, you essentially remove every successful scheme we've ever had. So while the majority of my brethren thought you were merely an unpopped zit on the grand scheme of history, I knew better. That's why I appealed to my master to provide me the resources to investigate you further. A little reconnaissance, if you will. Hence, my master secretly dispatched me and a few of my underlings to oversee the dawn of your constitutional republic. At first, I will admit I wasn't all that impressed. Most of your people just seemed to be, well, damned ordinary. There was really nothing menacing about you. Until I visited your churches. That's when I knew we were in real trouble. Your clergy seemed unintimidated by the persecutions we had engineered for their outspoken predecessors throughout the age, and boldly presented the words of that dreadful book in a way that spoke truth to power and inspired their members to action. The British were right to blame their defeat here on what they called the Black-Robed Regiment. Without the guidance and moral direction of the church, your revolution would have been little more than a revolt easily put down by brute force. The main difference between Lexington Concord and Tiananmen Square was the prophetic presence of your churches. Where most revolutions go wrong is they lack the moral will and courage of conviction to withstand the harsh realities of taking on the establishment, so they eventually wilt away or are put down. But you meatbags are never more dangerous than when you believe in a lofty ideal and are willing to give your life for it. Those are always the most troublesome fleshpots, whether they call themselves apostles or patriots. You can't scare them, you can't co-opt them, and you can't even really kill them because they're even more dangerous as martyrs. I've learned we basically have to wait them out and then, after the meatbag expires, convince the next generation to arrogantly find their own way. Almost always the hubris of that next generation complies. Case in point, take a look at your country. My Special Forces Demon Unit did everything it could to derail this train, but nothing worked. For example, we thought we had your Constitutional Convention bogged down in egos and bureaucracy, until one of the least religious of your founding fathers came out of nowhere to call for prayer to the Father of Lights. We were doomed from that point forward. Some days, I really hate you-know-who. When I went back and reported what I had witnessed to my master, he immediately called for an executive council session, something that's only been called a few times in the glorious history of hell. In fact, there had been an executive council since those first reports of the Carpenter's alleged resurrection. Here in hell, our official policy is to neither confirm nor deny such an event took place.
Yo, every time I hear that, look, I'm a bit obsessed with this book only because of the fact that there are a lot of key points in this book that in the world today could kind of be similarly related a little, like what do they call it, like percentages and stuff like that, like on like school, whatever, whatever, whatever. Uh, Again, all fiction. But every time he says that, it just really it it boggles me a little bit.
Executive council sessions are only needed to assess the threats that are so potentially dangerous it requires all of hell to be summoned, or at least made aware and prepared for it. Now, don't flatter yourselves. Even
What I meant by boggled, is like, it's like that taboo secret at work that nobody talks about. Like, you know what happened, or you know it's a thing, but you just nah. You just nobody talks about it. No one says anything about it. It's just kind of like that. It's like every time he says that, it's just like UFO. You know, it's like I get that. I get those weird memes. It's just funny.
on its best day, your country couldn't hold the carpenter's jockstrap. But you represented a similar type of threat as he did, because you could inspire a worldwide movement that breaks the ties we bind. Thus, you had to be dealt with. After more than a decade of analysis and strategizing, my master put Operation Takedown America into action. We basically gave up on the founding generations of the country because we could see they were already too devoted to the
By the way, that demon is talking spiritually. For all you little, people who are like on the edge, calm down. He's talking metaphorically, spiritually, and it's fiction. It's not real. It's a work of fiction. So calm down. Shh. Namaste. Calm down. Everything's okay.
cause of liberty. So, we went to work on the emerging generations. But their parents had done such a tremendous job of passing on their ideals, they were also a tough nut to crack. We had to think bigger and more long term. In the meantime, it sickened us to see all the liberty and morality you were exporting across the globe. Even when we successfully corrupted key figures and/or movements, the ideals embedded in your culture were strong enough to withstand their fall, and you only grew stronger. This meant we had to accomplish something we had never done before. Rome fell from the sheer weight of the corruption of its people and their leaders, as have all great empires. But none of those empires had the providential foundation and favor that yours had. Therefore, it would simply not have been enough to invest primarily in the decadence of the people. In your case, we were going to have to spend decade after decade decaying and corrupting your very institutions, church and state. And it worked. My, how it worked. It worked so wonderfully that we took the very institutions that withstood our attacks on you and protected you from us before and turned them against you. Then, and only then, did the corruption and decadence of your culture truly take root, for now there was nothing standing between us and you. Hammer, meet nail. So you may continue to fly your flags and pridefully apply your G-D Bless America bumper stickers on the backs of your automobiles. You may continue your talk about awakenings and revivals, as if they're just going to theoretically happen after enough people squawk abracadabra. You may keep droning on and on about American exceptionalism, while you're blogging, venting on Facebook, and earnestly seeking your best life now. Know this: we have already won. We're just waiting on the time of death. I'm so confident in this claim, I'm going to let you turn the page to find out how we pulled it off. This is how America ends. Not with a bang, nor even a whimper, but by thunderous applause from your country's best and brightest. It's only fitting one of your most popular television shows is called The Walking Dead, for that's exactly who you are.
So, yeah, that's. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. No, I'm just kidding. So, it's pretty out there, isn't it? It's just kind of it's messed up. Makes you, it literally makes you wonder, on a spiritual level, how if so this book basically is like a what if situation. You know how like on Disney they have that Marvel's What If. The author wrote it kind of like, what if the devil, you know, plotted against humanity through government, education, family, etc., etc. Like it's mind-boggling, and you know, it's definitely a good read. Uh, you know, if you're wondering where you can find it, you can find it on Audibles. You can find it on in stores. You can buy the book itself, hardcover, softcover. You can get it on, disc, on like an audiobook, you know, and it's definitely a good read. The author is Steve Deaces, Deace, and it's narrated by Andrew Totu Totolos. Totolos. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Andrew Totolos. Yeah. Um, but if you guys like this and you want me to do another one, another chapter, just leave a comment down in the comment section, and hit that like button. And if you know anybody that loves, like mysterious, strange, creepy, and unexplained, fucked up stuff, and you want to see me react to it and talk about it, just like I said, leave a comment down in the comment section. And if if you enjoy this content enough and you're in dire need to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel, and it helps, you know spread, you know the good entertainment of my content, and it's much appreciated. Right now I'm at 198. Thank you to the 900 or the 8. Thank you, tongue twister. Thank you to the 198th subscriber. It really, really means a lot. Like, I mean, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes. It always, you know, brings a good feeling when I can, when I can gain another subscriber or a like, or an extra viewer in my videos. It always makes me feel good because it means that I'm being seen, you know. People are actually taking an interest in what I have to offer. So I really appreciate it. Thank you to the 198th subscriber. Um, Again, if you guys want to see me do the second chapter, the first one was called Why You. The second chapter is called The Plan. If you want to see me do the second chapter, again, just leave a like and comment in the comment section. I know I probably said that over, gacking out on freaking coffee over here. But like I said, it's called a Nefarious Plot, and there is a movie based off of the book. Um, it's on Amazon. It's on YouTube. Um, Check it out. It's a good movie, and it's a really good read. Thank you for those, you know, sticking by to watch and listen. It means a lot. It means a lot to the channel as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did a little bit. I mean, I've read this, you know, a few times, but I don't own the rights to this, to this book or anything. So again, I hopefully I don't get in trouble for it. Um, again, it's just for entertainment purposes and me reacting to it. Um, yeah, it's it's definitely something to consider, checking out. I got like of course you can see up here I got books. You know, I know I can. Doesn't mean just because I got those sitting there, it doesn't mean that's proof that I read them. But I do read them. I do like books like this. I like to dive into stuff like this. It's very entertaining. It's very educational. It's just I don't know what it is, but it's conspiracy type shit. And someone did in the comment in my last video did say they wanted to see, more conspiracies. And this this book does have a bit of a conspiracy twist in it. So, but yeah, uh, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next, video. Um, I do not, again, I know I was talking about, Satanism and stuff like that. I'm not, uh, everything is, uh, everything I say is merely opinion. Uh, I do not condone or nor do I, whatever to like go out and hurt anybody or whatnot or do anything that could get anybody into trouble. Everything I say is merely out of an opinion. So, yeah, I am personally not a Satanist, but I do know of people, and the ones that I know are harmless. So, yeah, 2025, everybody. We got, what is it, 3 days until Donald Trump is back in the White House doing his thing. Maybe he'll just be like, fuck the White House. I'm gonna fucking set everything up at Mar-a-Lago. It's funny. I'm actually from Florida, so like, go Florida. you know, like I was born in Tampa, Hillsborough area, or yeah, Hillsborough County area. So yep, yeah, yeah. So all right, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully this video doesn't get sent or doesn't get like flagged. Please don't get flagged. All right. See you later, everyone.